Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is Sunday, March 23rd. Christina Bosanakis, and I'm joined by Ron Nicoletti.
Hello, Christina. Good morning.
Hi,
or
Ron.
good afternoon, I should say.
I know it feels like morning, but we've done so much up until now, and we've got a pretty solid card on tap, and we also have Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six today with, you see it, $3.7 million in the carry, almost 3.8 already, and we're just starting the day, so it's going to certainly skyrocket well over $4 million. And we have a really sultry day here in South Florida. It's warm, the main track is fast, the turf course is firm, and you know what else, Christine? It's a real special day at Gulfstream Park because we have a program to help someone out that needs some help.
And a young lady named Stephanie Schreifer, and we're going to have tables organized here at the track, and to go over to not only to make donations. My understanding is they're going to be selling. They have bracelets with their name on it, and also T-shirts. Here we could just take a look, and so it's for really, folks. It's for a great cause, and they're also we'll have some folks walking around the track here, and with a boot. A jockey's boot, and is also making collections for the cause. So again, to help that family and in need, and I will definitely make it a point to go out and find them and to make a donation.
Yeah, me too. And Stephanie is a racing fan, and we wish her all the best, and certainly going to help her out today. And exciting day yesterday too.
Yeah, we sure did. And the highlight of the afternoon was the Grade 2 Inside Information. Marty Wolfson had 3 horses in there, and he basically completed the exact...
I thought he might get the try, but Centrique didn't do as well as we thought he would. So.
Yeah, Centrique, she didn't have the greatest of breaks, but the filly that did get the job done was a Heart Stealer, and a very nice filly. She won the Sugar Swirl here a couple of starts back. Didn't really have the greatest of races in her latest start, but Ron, she more than made up for that effort.
Yeah, I got to see her here, you know, throughout the summer season and everything, and Heart Stealer breaks through, and a really nice performance, gets a Grade 2 victory. And the horse in second, of course, was Miss Christie, right?
Yeah.
And she always seems to want to finish second, but we're going to get her a victory for sure.
Yeah, sure. And so a very competitive race, and we do have a competitive card on tap today. And we can jump right in. We'll start off with the first on the card is a $25,000 claiming event, and it is 6 furlongs on the main track. And my top choice, I went with number 5, Awakino Cat. I see that you went in the same direction as well. Last time was running 25,000 allowance optional claiming, so we're getting a pretty significant drop, and that was also on the turf. Now we're getting back on the dirt.
Well, really interesting I find is that this horse, Awakino Cat, has made 10 of its 40 races have been on that he won have been on the turf. Only the 3rd start ever on the main track. So, but you mentioned the class relief certainly makes it look very sharp. And from the Peter Walderbahn, Joel Rosario atop this 9-year-old. So it's a hard-knocking campaigner. I see you had the number 4 horse in your ticket in the second spot.
I did, and I like the number 4 in terms of his numbers, and I thought that he's coming into this race off of a pretty good effort. He was 3rd, beaten 4 lengths. However, doesn't have a win over this track. But again, it seems to be a pretty competitive race.
Yeah, I threw in Dream Maestro and the Holden Bullets, who's actually taking a little bit of money right now. 48 minutes to the first post, so can't go much by the board, but looks like they have some interest also in the 3. Holden Bullets.
And we'll move on to the second race on the card, which kicks off the first pick 4 of the afternoon, and is a $25,000 maiden claiming event, 5.5 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, I went with number 4, Candy's Lady from the Mike Trombetta barn, and I'm willing to throw out that last race. That was made in special weight company. That was state bred, made in special weight company, but had a little bit of a problem on the turn, and also we're getting a significant drop this time. And I'm hoping, if you look at this horse has never run at this level. This filly hasn't run ever as low as this, so I'm going to give her a shot and try to take a stab against what's likely to be the favorite.
Yeah, I had her on the ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. She did get checked on the turn last time out, but I did go with the 6 in here, Lucasta. It was also dropping to this $25,000 level, adding blinkers today. Failed to show much. That was when breaking from post 10, and it was against the state-bred maiden special weight competition too. The trainer, of course, Todd Fletcher. He's really good with this class drop. He's about 40%. So
is that all?
Yeah. Seems like a lot, and he's also 24% with first-time blinkers. I could go on.
Yes. Well, actually, Luis Saez and Todd Fletcher together, when they combine, they're 33%. We always go on with the Javier Castellano, John Velasquez, but he's very good with Luis Saez.
A lot of jockeys still out of town today, and you don't see the normal jockeys riding on certain horses. That's probably the reason.
I also threw in number 1, Little Daniela, into the mix, and last time she ran on the 5 furlong race, a grass race, and really didn't show anything. I think if she runs back to her previous race, and that was a maiden special weight company, again, she's dropping as well. Her breeding really would suggest she's going to be better on the dirt anyway, so I threw her on my ticket as well.
Yeah, she'll be getting in light because she'll have Michael Petro, only the second career race for him, and thus a 10-pound apprentice.
On to the third race on the card, 6250. It's a claiming event, a mile and a 16th on the main track. And we do have a couple of scratches, number 1, Hugo Light, and number 4, 7-10 Split. Blinkers off, number 6, Liberty Wing. And I went with number 6, Liberty Wing, and has some early speed in here, Ron, or may have some early speed. Now we're getting the blinkers off, so we'll see where position-wise where this gelding's going to be.
Well, maybe she showed a little too much, and I want to throttle her down a little bit. I got her in second. We flip-flop our picks in here. I went with the 2 odds, D Copas, and this one is dropping to that $6,250 level. Showed speed and faded against Optional Allowance Company. That was across town. Horse likes Gulfstream, 4 starts, will win in a third.
And on to the third race on the card. If I can ever get to the fourth race. The fourth race on the card. My papers
want to do the third again?
Yeah, let's do it again. I had so much fun the first time. On to the 25,000 claiming event, and this is a mile and a 16th on the turf course. Yes, we are on race number 4, and my top selection, it looks like we went in the same direction here, Ron, and that is number 4, Sapphire Blue from the David Brady barn, and looks like speed, but they're probably there might be somebody else joining her up front, maybe with number 2, Starship Jody.
Yeah, I was looking at it that way too, but the number 4, Sapphire Blue, the first start for Dave Brady, went there via the claiming route to stretch out to a mile and a 16th. 3 previous races at the distance with 2 wins. That's what sold me on number 4, Sapphire Blue. And you have the number 2 in second. I went with the number 6, El Benedat, to close out my exacta. And again, Peter Walder, first off the claim, pretty good. So we'll see. And he's 29% with a limited sampling of horses going from dirt to turf. So we'll see how that works out. But it sure looks like they're going to beat the 4, Sapphire Blue in there.
Yeah, I think so too. On to the 5th race, and the 5th race is a 75,000 allowance optional claiming event, 1 mile on the main track. This also kicks off the pick 4. And my top selection, I went with number 2, West Coast Girl, 725,000 at the Fasig-Tipton. That's a Saratoga sale, and very, very well bred. And she's by Medaglia d'Oro, and her dam, she's the family. The mare was a stakes winner, great at stakes place. This is a family of Dance Smartly, so she really has an impeccable pedigree. She's the first foal. She's done nothing wrong thus far. Came out in her debut, and she won first time out. We can have a look at that race. And Ron, that was a pretty impressive race, I thought. She won by a length and a quarter, but the filly she beat that day, Bridled Heiress from the Terry Pompey barn, came back next time out, won by over 5 lengths. So very nice filly. Yeah,
and she was in the duel with her early, and then it was able to shake loose and win. There you see her in front. So the number 4 West Coast Girl that day will be number 2 today, and I got her on top of my ticket for all the reasons you mentioned, and going to really impressive 6.5 furlong race.
So another horse that I used as well, I used in number 3, Norcarl from the Bill Mott barn. And I think this one's actually pretty interesting. And for the reason that if you look at that latest race, that was on the turf going 7.5 furlongs. However, and I would almost tempted just to throw that race out. She didn't have she had a little bit of a problem lane. But if you go back to her previous race at Calder, her numbers were pretty good. So if she can jump back and run back to that effort, I think she might be in the mix of things here late.
Yeah, and the only other horse I had interest in was the 5 Gdansk, and this one is stepping up the competition. Of course, it notched its third career victory when she drew off. She defeated $35,000 optional claimers at the distance she likes. And I like the fact that she's a 3-time winner.
On to the 6th race on the card, which kicks off the Rainbow Six, and we do have a carryover. We're just at about $3.8 million. It's a 25,000 maiden claimer, mile and 16th turf course. We do have a few scratches in there, number 4, 6, and 9. And my top pick, and it looks like both of us went in the same direction, number 5, Film Star, coming into this off of a couple of second-place efforts, but I presume he's going to be the controlling speed in here.
Yeah, I know those couple of efforts were upstate at Tampa. Herman Walensky has Jeffrey Sanchez, and he's really a speedy son of Levin the Drop Kid, not Jeffrey Sanchez, the horse. And it looks like he is the controlling speed in that race, and we both have it on top of our ticket, but I don't know if he starts singling right here in the Rainbow Six. I also used the 1 Gridiron Great and the 2 Livingston.
And we'll move on to the 7th race, and the 7th race is a 50,000 maiden claiming test, a mile on the main track, and this kicks off the pick 5. And my top selection, I went with number 3, Cosmic Coincidence, likely to be showing speed, has shown speed in his last early speed in his last couple of starts for trainer Kelly Breen. Paco Lopez, who was aboard for those 2 starts, is back aboard today. And he didn't show a whole lot when he was running 9 furlongs in maiden special weight company, and Kelly cut him back to a mile. And in maiden 50, like as he is today, I thought he ran a pretty good race. That number would suggest it's better than anybody else in here. And so I decided I was going to go with the speed factor because I don't see a whole lot of other speed besides this one.
Yeah, and you know, he definitely has room for improvement, this horse. 3-year-old, he responded to, as you said, to both those karma changes to run well. But I did go with the 5 Arch Avenger, who's dropping to the $50,000 level after tracking the pace and finish a workman-like 5th against maiden special weight competition. Todd Fletcher, the trainer. The whole key here is how, by the 6th or 7th race, we should know how the track is favoring running. And if it's favoring speed, I think I might flip-flop these top 2 horses.
Yeah, I think, and that would be interesting to see. Arch Avenger, he costs a good amount of money, too, at the Keeneland September sale as well. And if you look at that latest start, when he was 5th, he was beaten by Global Strike. That's another horse from the Todd Fletcher barn. A pretty nice one, too. Came back and nice winner here. So I think this is a very good point. I'm going to try to stick with the speed. My instinct is telling me speed's going to be important for us here today. On to the 8th race on the card, and it is a starter optional claimer and a $25,000 claiming price, mile and 16th on the turf course, and this kicks off the late pick 4. We do have 2 scratches, number 2 Sammy Alexander and number 3 Pecky's Boy. And my top choice, I went with number 8, King David. I think the class of the field. He is a Grade 1 winner. He won the Jamaica Handicap. That was back in 2012. A little bit sporadic in terms of his campaign over the last 12 months. However, his latest victory was at Churchill back in September. Although, Ron, he does come into this race off of a pretty good 4th-place effort. He showed speed, tired late. He was beaten 2 lengths at Sam Houston January 25th, but that was a pretty good effort.
Yeah, and it was great at stakes competition.
Yeah.
It was a Grade 3 event at Sam Houston. So, and the trainer Mike Maker, we mentioned, is just having a spectacular Gulfstream meeting. So here's a classy horse that I think you got to have on your Rainbow Six ticket for sure in there. I also used Wonderful Breeze in a horse that we like, the number 4, Bingo Bango Bongo, who's been facing tougher. We like to say it as much as we root for him.
Yeah, and then Bingo Bango Bongo is a horse that I've been talking to Joe Catanese for. He's really high on this horse, and if you look at the last 2 races that this horse has come out of, the McDermott, of course, was Grade 2, so there was Graded Stakes Company. No shame in being beaten by Twilight Eclipse, who now has gone over to Dubai for the festival, for the carnival, the Dubai World Cup Carnival. So that's going to be interesting to see. Very, very nice horse. But even that latest race, he was beaten by Hard Enough. He's a stakes winner, so I think that he should run a pretty good race, I would think. On to the 9th race on today's card. And it is a maiden special weight for 4-year-olds and up. It's a mile and a 16th on the turf course. And we do have 1 scratch, and that is number 2, Solo Approach, is out. I went with a number 1, Siete Se, coming into pretty consistent, if nothing else. He's been running in race after race. Now, he was previously with Todd Fletcher, Now he's making his first start for Gustavo Delgado, but I think that he was third behind a very nice horse named Coinbroker last time, and I'm hoping that he's gonna be able to break through today.
Yeah, I mean, I have him on my ticket, but I did go with the number 7 Market Outlook on top. I thought was really game in defeat when he returned from an almost 1-year layoff. He breaks from post 11, presses the pace throughout, and finishes second. Chad Brown, pretty good with horses making the second start after an extended layoff. Jose Lescano, as we mentioned, a lot of people, one of my favorite riders on the turf. So we have Market Outlook. We just have our exacta here flip-flop, so the old exacta box might be the way to go.
You know, we could take a look at that last race. I'm glad you mentioned number 7 Market Outlook. We could take a look, and that was a pretty good race. I also like the horses that he was running against that day. Leader Avenue, I think, is a pretty nice one, Ron. But in terms of tactically how you're going to see this race play out, it looks like Market Outlook will probably be pretty forwardly placed this time as he was last time, because he ran very well.
He ran very well, and like I said, he broke from post 11, and he got interested real early, and he was up there, and as we turned for home, you saw he was still, pressing the pace setter, and just didn't get there, but had a reason to. It was his first race back in a long time, so I'm thinking there's a lot of upside with number 7 Market Outlooks, yet they see, and then I used the 3 Point Roll, who's a gelded son of Point Given.
Moving on to the 10th race on the card, and it's a 25,000 maiden claimer, a mile on the turf course. And we do have a couple of scratches, the also eligibles, and number 9 and number 10 are out. And my top selection, I went with number 5, and that's Acquisition. And I like this one. I think this, with those main track entrants not running in here, I think to me it seems a little more clear-cut. Cam Gambilotti trains this one. Second, a couple of starts back behind a horse named Hit Squad. Hit Squad ran here just a couple of days ago. Really
unlucky Hit Squad. 2 races in a row.
Really unlucky Hit Squad. And I think he's I think he's pretty good. And this horse finished just behind him, and he came back and. Acquisition was 4th last time, beaten 3 lengths. But again, he didn't have the best of starts, and I think he will profit from a better start this time.
And you know what? If you're a buyer figure aficionado, certainly jumps off the page at you, the number 5 Acquisition. And I used 7 Lady Go-Go and the 1 Philomene in 3rd.
And on to the 11th and final race on today's card. And it is a 16,000 claiming event, a mile and a 16th on the turf course. And my top selection, I went. Well, there is one jockey, one scratch, and that is number 7, Bini First, the baby, a jockey change on number 8, and Abdel Hayen will be riding Sharp and Crafty. And my top selection, I went with number 4, Legenda Aurea, who's coming into this off of a 3rd place effort after showing speed last time, and just several things that I like, and one of which also jockey Paco Lopez aboard today, and he's been doing okay.
Yeah, he's been doing great, and this is the 3rd race off the bench for this horse, and I think it'll be the best effort so far for the number 4 Legenda Aurea. I went with the 6 Happy Voyage. I moved to the Nick Gonzalez barn to claim. Nick Gonzalez also having a very good Gulfstream meeting. Stretches out today, coming within the neck of defeating this caliber of competition at 7.5 furlongs.
And another horse we both used, I see, is number 6, and that's Lucky Empress. And a couple of starts back, she was 3rd, Ron. I think behind a couple of, I thought, decent, I should say useful horses, Stars Collide and Charade. And then she came back. She was 5th last time after showing some speed, but I'm hoping that she's going to run back to her previous form.
Yeah, that was against Happy Voyage, was in that race.
Yep.
Still finished 5th behind her, so there is reason to believe she'll move forward today.
So that's it for today's card, and as we said earlier, we do have the Rainbow 6, and there's a carryover. We're just a tick under $3.8 million. Race 6. Ron, next weekend, a huge weekend. We've got the Florida Derby and the contenders that have lined up, headed by Cairo Prince. Very, very exciting. I'm actually going up to Palm Meadows on Tuesday to hang out with Kieran McLaughlin a little bit, maybe harass him a little bit, hopefully not get myself ejected out of the barn. However, big, big, big week here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, I mean, it kicks off on Tuesday if you play golf, a golf tournament. On Wednesdays, the post position draw. On Thursday and Wednesday later on, we have a poker tournament. And on Friday, we have parties here. So it's open to the public from 8 to 10. It's called Horsetails and Cocktails and Horsetails right here in the walking ring behind us. So it's just a lot of interesting stuff going on throughout the Florida Bessalou Stables Florida Derby weekend. And Cairo Prince on paper right now looks like the one to beat, but things can change over the next few days.
You know, I was looking at it again today. We were talking about General A-Rod, and I think, you know, just the cast of characters here, he's going to be favorite Cairo Prince, but General A-Rod in a very, very nice, consistent horse, and also Wildcat Red's going to be running in there, and Todd Pletcher's represented with Constitution. We just got a really, really nice, like, a group.
And I think the connection to Wildcat Red, you got to see what they'll be wearing. That'll be a part of the fun. If you haven't seen Wildcat Red win his last couple of races, the owners are very, very sharply dressed when they head to the winner's circle. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, they sure do turn some heads here at Gulfstream. And that's it for Ron, myself. We will be back later on this afternoon. And folks, just a reminder, we do have here we're going to be we have those tables around the racetrack for Stephanie Schreifer. And please be generous and make a donation. It's really for a good cause and to help the family out in hard times. That's it, folks. We'll be back. Stick around.